Hey guys, welcome back to Mr. Julian's music class. So, today I want to talk about pizza. Let's just say I cooked a DiGiorno pizza in the oven. I pulled out a nice DiGiorno pizza and I invited a friend over. So, when the friend comes over, I need to cut my pizza so he can have some. How much of the pizza should I give him? What's that you say? Half? All right. So I would give my friend... No? Okay, so if I'm nice, I'm going to give my friend half of the pizza. Right? Half of the pizza. Sound fair? Okay, new scenario. And I know you're like, why are we talking about pizza? You'll understand in just a minute, all right? So hold on. Now, I'm going to invite 3 friends over. So there's 4 of us. How am I going to cut the pizza now? So I've got it in 2, but now I'm going to do 1 more. Now I've got 4 slices. Do you know the fraction for that? That is a quarter, right? A quarter plus a quarter plus a quarter plus a quarter. Good. All right, well, what if I have my DiGiorno pizza, and this time there's 8 of us, right? All right, so I cut it that way, I cut it that way. That's only 4 slices. I need 8. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do that. Now I have 8 slices. That's not a quarter anymore. Do you know what that is? Each slice would be known as an eighth. All right. I know. You're like, okay, stop talking about this pizza. Now I'm hungry. Thanks, Mr. Julian. Why are we talking about it? Well, you'll find out in just a second. Right after this. All right, so hopefully you went out and got a nice slice of pizza there during that very short break. So why were we talking about pizza and fractions? Well, it's because musical notes and rhythms are made up of notes that have fraction names, like a quarter note, a half note, eighth notes. All right, and those are all fraction names. So just understanding that pizza sort of fraction thing is going to help us with notes here in just a little bit. Now, in a little bit, I'm going to be bringing out 4 friends, and we're going to kind of play a little game that we played in class here to help you understand the rhythms a little better. But before I do that, let's just take a look at something. So in a second, I'm going to have 4 chairs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to be like the steady beat. Okay? So our chairs will be representing the beat. All right? Now let me take a look here. Now in music, at the beginning of a song, you're going to usually see a time signature at the beginning. This time signature has a 4 at the top, which means our beats are grouped into 4. 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, a beat is something you feel from our lesson last week. If you don't remember that, go back and watch it. Now here we've added the treble clef. Treble clef means high. Bass clef means low. Got our time signature. And then we've added some notes here. Now you've noticed we've got 4 notes over each beat. Now, what was it when we took the DiGiorno pizza and we sliced it into 4? Do you remember what those were called? It was called quarters. Quarter note plus a quarter note plus a quarter note plus a quarter note. And just a review here before we start playing our game. In music, we write our notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, half notes, whole notes, on a staff. The staff has 5 lines. Treble clef, high. Time signature tells you that there's 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. After every 4 beats, you're going to see a bar line. Every time there's a bar line, it divides up those 4 beats into measures. So you'll have 4 beats, and then you'll have a bar line. You'll have 4 more beats, and then another bar line. and it keeps on going, and those are called measure. Kind of like the word measurement. It measures those beats out. You think you got all that? All right. Normally when I would teach my rhythm chairs, I would teach it with students in the chairs, kind of being the notes. My chairs are supposed to be the beats, and the people sitting in the chairs are going to be the rhythms, what we hear. But because of the time and day that it is, with coronavirus, we can't be sitting this close. So, just imagine for me, if you will. We have 4 steady beats. The beats sound like this. That's right, you didn't hear them, because beats are silent. Let's listen to them again. Here we go. And with every beat, we're going to put a sound, or we can even put a silence on the beats, just like we had just a second ago. There were 4 silences. Now, we were talking about pizza earlier on, so pretend like this is my whole pizza. And I'm going to slice my pizza into 4 slices. Right? Do you remember what we said it was when you slice the pizza into 4 slices? This was a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter. Voila! Now we have someone sitting in each chair. That someone is a note. We have 4 notes, 1 in each chair, and because these notes fit well in each chair, we call them a quarter note. The quarter note goes ta, 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 ta. Okay, let's try that again. Ready? Here we go. Ta, 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 ta. How many total beats did we have? We have 4 beats. Now I could take off a quarter note, and in its place, there is no sound. We would call that a quarter rest. It's not a note, it's a rest. So now we have a quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter rest. Let's say this rhythm together. Ready? Here we go. Ta, ta, ta. There wasn't any sound during that beat. Now we have a quarter note, quarter rest, quarter note, quarter rest. Let's say this rhythm. 1, 2, ready, here we go. Ta, ta. If we clapped it, it would go. Does that make sense? We could put all quarter notes. We could even put all quarter rests. What if I did this? It would be 1, 2, ready, here we go. Ta, ta. Making sense? Okay. Well, let's change it a little bit. Take a look at this. This third beat. Beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. On beat 3, now I see 2 notes sitting in one beat, sitting in one chair. It's kind of like I took this pizza and I sliced it in half. Now if I sliced all my pizzas in half, so instead of 4, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We would have 8 slices of pizza. And because I've divided these up, these are actually called eighth notes. 2 sounds in one beat. T, 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 T. 8 notes. What kind of notes are these? Quarter notes. Let's say this together. This is going to go ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. 2 sounds in one beat. Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Let's add some more 8th notes. So now I've added 2 8th notes to beat 1. So we have ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta. Now we have 2 8th notes here. 8th, 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 quarter. Let's try this one. Ready? Here we go. T, 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 ta. Question. This is a question that a lot of my classes miss. How many beats are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 4. How many notes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 notes, but there's only 4 beats. T, 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 ta. Whoa, look how many 8th notes I have now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 8th notes. Ready? Here we go. T, 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 T. What about this? Ready, here we go. T, 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 ta. What about this? Here we go. T, 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 T. Nice. What about this? Here we go. T, T, ta. What about this? Ready, go. T, T, ta. T, T. I like this rhythm. Here we go. T, T, ta. T, T, ta. Kind of making sense? 2/8 notes, quarter note. 2/8 notes, quarter note. Okay, let me start throwing some new stuff at you since you're doing so well. Now this one might be a little confusing. If I had some people sitting in my chair, some students, I would have someone that has their leg in this beat, this chair, and they would be taking up 2 beats, okay? Now, if this were pizza, and I put this over here, that would be half of the pizza, right? We wrote that fraction down earlier. So because this note takes up 2 beats, we call it a half note, because it's taking up half of the 4. Half note. For the half note, we say ta, ti, 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 ti. Ta, ta, ta. Now this one has a half note here, a half note there. 2 beats and 2 beats. How many total beats do we have? Still got 4, but we have 2 notes, a half note and a half note. Half of the pizza, the other half of the pizza. Let's say it together. Ready? Here we go. Ta, ta. Doing great. So now I have a half note, and what's this new thing? It doesn't really look like a note. We're going to call it a rest. Remember we had a quarter rest before, but now it looks like this rest goes all the way over to here. So it gets half of the beats, 2 beats out of 4, and this one gets 2 beats. So this is a half note. This would be called a half rest. You'll notice the half rest looks kind of like a hat. And so hat and half sound very similar. So this will be 2 beats of silence. Ready? Here we go. Ta. Make sense? Hope so. Ta. Whoa, take a look at this note. Just one circle. Nothing else going on. That must mean that this note takes up all 4 chairs. In other words, he's going to take up the whole thing. We call that a whole note. So when we see the whole note, we're going to say ta for 4 beats. 1, 2, here we go. Ta. Make sense? And then of course, if there's a whole note, there has to be a whole rest. The whole rest is pointing down, and it takes up the whole 4 beats. So let's try this one. This one's really hard. Ready? Here we go. Perfect job. That was really, really good. All right. Do you think you get it? All right. I know that's a whole bunch of stuff to learn. I wish I could have had students sitting in these chairs because it would have been much more entertaining. But we will get to do that soon. I hope you guys are doing well, and stick with these rhythms. It's hard stuff, but it's pretty fun once you learn how to read them. Thanks, guys. See you later.